Winning the lottery can be the difference between sitting on a gold toilet or cleaning one. But when Peter wins the lottery, he takes a more insufferable route and makes sure to torture his few remaining friends.
Ah! It's not a liquid! It's a great many pieces of solid matter that form a hard floor-like surface! Ah!
Peter and his family are performing their routine opening song, but towards the end, one of the backup dancers decides to drop a bombshell on Peter. Apparently, she is pregnant and demands some form of recognition. However, Peter quickly calls security on her and then continues singing the remaining song as if nothing ever happened. He's just a chill guy. The story begins with Peter and his family rotting away in front of the TV, watching something completely mindless. And during this particularly riveting brain rot session, Peter suddenly decides that he needs to borrow a shit ton of money so that he can open a sushi restaurant for the most stupid reason.
Hajime mashite! Here comes our black guy!
Lois does not think that's a very good idea because the family has been financially struggling, and adding more strain is going to force them to haul their junk out on the streets. In fact, Lois tells Peter that the family needs to start scrimping so that they can still afford their substandard lifestyle. However, Peter is not a man made for reasoning, or anything sane, really. He immediately realizes that the best way to make money is through winning the lottery. Once Peter sees how popular the lottery tickets are on TV, he decides to head out as the man of the family and spend all of their savings on a minuscule chance of getting lucky. After a while, Peter gathers the family and shows them the insane amount of lottery tickets he bought. Lois and Brian berate Peter for wasting money when he should have been saving.
Idiotic, your odds of winning are like 100 million to 1. Don't you know the lottery is just a tax on stupid people?
But this plan is foolproof in Peter's eyes. Later on, the family gathers in front of the TV to see whether they won. Once the winning number is announced, Peter gets his family to start slaving away, and they all go through the thousands of lottery tickets Peter bought with his thick skull. A generic montage ensues of everyone grinding away, but there is no end in sight. After a long while, the endless tickets are finally scoured by the entire family, and it seems like Peter just wasted the family's money. But then he reveals that he had fake tickets printed out. In order to prepare the family for the real thing, Peter pulls out the box full of the real lottery tickets. And thanks to the magic of television convenience, Brian finds the winning ticket right on top of the huge pile.
We won the lottery! I'm getting a penis butler.
Sir?
All right, buttle my penis. Buttle it!
Now that the Griffin family is rich, Peter and the others decide what to do with all of their cash. It is quite clear that this family has never known even an ounce of wealth, and all of them have strange ideas when it comes to spending the money.
Yeah, money!
Woo!
Peter wastes no time and jumps right into rich people's stereotypes. He tries to jump into a pool full of gold coins and quickly learns that reality is different from fiction. Peter even resigns from his job by politely leaving a large dump on his manager's table.
I would be remiss, however, if I did not extend my gratitude to you for your unwavering fairness and belief in me, and there is a giant poo on your desk.
Now that money is no longer an issue, Peter can spend his days drinking with his buddies. He orders drinks for Quagmire, Joe, and everyone else in the bar. However, it is clear that wealth has already turned his friends into money-sucking leeches. Both Quagmire and Joe ask Peter for some money for one stupid reason or the other. Quagmire actually explains to Peter how he wants money so that he can invest in a penis enlargement business. Meanwhile, Joe wants money so that he can hire a famous singer for his wife's birthday. Peter takes pity on his lowly, beggarly friends and humbly complies by giving his friends money. But he now expects Quagmire and Joe to do whatever he wants, since Peter is their cash cow who is investing in their doomed future.
From now on, we're all gonna do whatever I want to do, because I'm the one with the dough.
Quagmire and Joe reluctantly allow Peter to be a complete arse to them, because without his support, both of them will be no better than the beggars on the street. Peter ramps up his abuse and tells his friends to do weird things for him, even though they're completely embarrassed in the process. Quagmire and Joe have no option but to degrade themselves for the sake of Peter and his fat stash. And Peter himself does not show any remorse as he makes his friends do tricks for him like show ponies.
What's left of it on your face and look at me with your mouth open. Look at yourself, you filthy whore.
Peter's madness, fueled by his lottery winnings, reaches its apex when he makes Quagmire and Joe sing a duet while he points a BB gun at them. Even a slight wrong move causes Peter to shoot at his own friends, even though Peter reassures his friends that he is not insane and that the shooting is all in good fun. Quagmire and Joe are not convinced. Peter continues to torture his friends, and then he intentionally shoots Joe right in the eye, which causes the man's eye to bleed out profusely.
Aye. Gotcha.
Quagmire has had enough of Peter's nonsense, and he tells Peter that he is a jerk. Quagmire and Joe are willing to part ways with Peter's load of cash. The loss of their dignity is just no longer worth the effort. Peter is now completely void of any friends, but that does not matter to him, because he has money, which can help fill any void in life. The money has changed the Griffin family for the worse, and Lois is even more concerned when she sees Peter pull up in a suit made entirely out of gold. He looks like the type of tacky rich person that other rich people make fun of. Lois is not liking the unhinged behavior her family is exhibiting. These people are usually already pretty insane, but the money has now made them unstoppable. But Peter thinks that their new lives should be cherished, because they no longer have to live like poor, destitute people. They need to think about consequences or friends. They can just buy their way through everything.
Lois, don't you understand? We don't got any of our old problems anymore. We don't have to worry about paying bills. We don't have to worry about saving dough.
After his grand speech, Peter pulls out a huge diamond ring, and of course, all logic gets thrown out the window by Lois as she fawns over her new accessory. Everyone in this family is now beyond help, and Peter even starts judging his own children for being too stupid and useless for his money. Peter now acts like an aristocratic Englishman who has been rich for a long time, even though just a few days ago he was rotting in front of the TV. The family then heads over to a fancy restaurant where they pretend to be refined, rich people. But while Peter continues his facade, his world comes crashing down when his card is declined. It turns out that lottery money can run out pretty quickly if you spend it on stupid shit, and Peter and the rest of the family are devastated that they once again must live like the rest of the poor people. Peter now has to figure out what to do, and they turn to the lottery once more. It turns out that the family wins the lottery a second time, but they end up wasting all of that money again.
We won twice and we're right back here again.
Lois tells Peter that he must lower his ego and ask for help, even though Peter is not so sure that his friends would want to see his ugly face again. Nevertheless, Peter heads over to the bar where he finds Quagmire and Joe. Not surprisingly, Peter receives a cold reception. His friends hate him for treating them so badly, but Peter starts sharing his sob story. He explains how awful he feels for letting the money get to his head, and Peter apologizes before leaving the bar dejected, but Quagmire stops him. It turns out that the money Quagmire borrowed for his penis enlargement business returned a huge profit, and he is willing to give Peter a portion of it. For once in his life, Peter has nothing to say. He is so grateful to Quagmire for the help. Peter then sees the results of Quagmire's new business with his own two eyes, and it would have been better if Peter had shot Quagmire instead.
Ask Sandra, the waitress over there. We had a great time last night.
Tough girl. Made it into work.
Now that Peter has enough money to get his house back, the Griffin family is back to their usual pathetic self. Lois tries to teach her kids a lesson about humility and wealth, but everyone is tired of their own antics, and they all stare out of their windows like proper depressed people.
I don't know what happened. We're all depressed. All right, now let's just go to different rooms and stare blankly out the window, saying nothing.
Click on this video next, but not before you smash those like and subscribe buttons.
This is nice.